Track.
Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
It's the end of an era in Saginaw, and the Student Advisory Council is looking for 8 new members. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. On Friday night, the boys basketball teams from Saginaw High and Arthur Hill will meet for the final time ever in the regular season. It's a rivalry that started in 1910 and has seen each school win multiple state titles. After the school year, the two schools are consolidating into a new one, Saginaw United High School. The final regular season matchup will be played at the Dow Event Center in Saginaw, and 5,000 tickets for the game sold out in just minutes. Former Arthur Hill coach Dave Slaggert is writing a book on the rivalry titled Remember the Trojans and the Lumberjacks, and according to his research, either Saginaw or Arthur Hill has made the state quarterfinals 47 times. 36 times one of those teams reached the semifinals. The two have played in 18 MHSAA championship games, with Saginaw winning 6 times and Arthur Hill winning twice. Current and former NBA stars like Draymond Green and Jason Richardson have played in this game, as well as former NFL players like Lamar Woodley and Charles Rogers. That first game 114 years ago was won by Saginaw High. The winner Friday will have bragging rights for a long time, unless the two meet again in the postseason. They are in different districts but could meet up again for the final last time in the regional semifinals. The boys basketball district brackets will be posted on Sunday, February 18th. Log on to MHSAA.com to see the path to the Breslin Center for Saginaw High, Arthur Hill, and everyone else looking to keep their season going deep into March. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. First, Negaunee Ella Mason. She poured in 30 points in a 57-53 win over Ishpeming. It was the first loss of the year for Ishpeming and moved Negaunee to 17-1 on the season. Alcona's Garrett Summers, his 16 points led Alcona in a 44-38 win over Mayo. The victory secured Mayo's first ever North Star League boys basketball title. And a Holt bowler, Nick Shaberg. He won a third straight CAAC singles championship, rolling a 5-21 total in the championship match.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Director of Officiating Services, Sam Davis.
Cheerleaders, usually at the college level, get in the sports headlines whenever an accident occurs, causing a serious injury. In Michigan, the sport of competitive cheer doesn't make the news in that regard. Why? Because this sport, created by Michigan schools, has built-in safety guidelines for competition, including the proper matting and the rules which prohibit dangerous stunts, and safety judges observing the routines. Middle school competitive cheer is more restrictive, allowing the focus to be on the fundamentals that will provide a safe foundation when these athletes transition into high school and beyond. This format is exclusive to Michigan, and just another way that high school sports takes the extra step to make the games our athletes play as safe as they can possibly be.
Thanks, Sam. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. If you're a student athlete in the class of 2026 who is interested in joining the MHSAA Student Advisory Council, now is the time to apply. The council discusses issues dealing with the 4 S's: scholarship, sportsmanship, safety, and scope. A 5th S, student leadership, is also a common topic. We're looking for 8 new members, 4 boys and 4 girls, to join our existing 8 members from the class of 2025. If selected, you would serve for 2 years and help the council promote the educational value of interscholastic athletics. Members help plan sportsmanship summits, captain's clinics, and other student leadership events. They also help hand out medals and trophies at MHSAA championship events. Council meets 6 times a year, plus attend a 24-hour summer leadership camp. It's a great way to strengthen your leadership skills, meet student athletes from across the state, and get an up-close and personal look at how high school sports are managed. To apply, please go to MHSAA.com. Applications are due by 4:30 p.m. on Monday, April 22nd. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll be back next week.
Neves, back right nearest 4. Cam right nearest with 2. Turns to win. Yes! Cam right nearest. Granville wins! DeBoer regathers, takes it to the front of the net, and skies one behind Louiselle, and scores! 2-1 Granville. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Breslin Center and game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here. With their intensity, what a move by Wade to the corner, to Young, another one! Almost gets the right corner to Watson. Catch and shoot 3. Splash! Muskegon has taken the lead, 47-46. Justin Watson, another triple. He has 9. 138 in the third, and a big red lead. By Baker, they'll fling it to Steffen. Aldering to the basket. Merritt Aldering cocks it back, jams it. Timeout, Covenant Christian. And hello everyone, and welcome to game night, and welcome to Zeeland West High School. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer here on MGN on Michigan Sports Radio. And it's one of many top games around the air tonight, all live on Michigan Sports Radio. What a night it is as all these conference championship races are coming to a head, and one of which is right here at Zeeland West Nights, the rematch of Muskegon and the Ducks of Zeeland West. And there is a ton on the line in this one. Muskegon tied with Reese Puffer at 10-1 atop the conference. Zeeland West with a loss to each of those two schools. Just a game back of that, and looking to flip the script as we head into the final week of the conference season. Welcome courtside, Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, and let's start right there, CT, because there's a lot to play for in this game. We'll talk about the clashing styles, we'll talk about all the different great things that we're expecting in this ball game, but you have to start with what's at stake. Zeeland West one game back of that tied lead for Reese Puffer and for Muskegon, but the key part with that, Zeeland West still controls their own destiny for at least a share because they have got to play, obviously, Muskegon tonight. They have next in line Mona Shores on Tuesday, and then they have Reese Puffer on Friday. So this Zeeland West team, who's playing some great basketball down the stretch, can really flip the script of the entire OK Green race.
Both teams very much alive, as you said, and Muskegon probably the easier path, especially if they can win here tonight. Yep. They've got the easier remaining schedule that they can at least for sure lock up a share of the OK Green, but Zeeland West very much alive as well. If they can beat Muskegon, they split those 2 games, go 1-1 against Muskegon. They'd have to beat Reese Puffer, who, as we said, is right there at the top as well, but still very much in competition, where if they can win the final games of the season, they'll be right in play for the conference as well. All
right, this is our Centennial Securities pregame show. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into things a little bit, a lot to talk about in this contest. We almost had a player come into the broadcast, one already here sitting courtside at Zeeland West, but a lot to get to, of course, in this one. We'll break down a lot of great matchups, a lot of great head-to-head battles, team-wide battles, the schematics, look at a little bit more of some of the scenarios going on in terms of this conference race and everything else going around the area as well. So a lot to get to. We're going to step aside, be right back here from Zeeland West.
Was founded based on the belief that the interests of our clients must always come first.
We listen and understand your objectives before making a recommendation. We customize the portfolio of investments to fit your goals.
It is our commitment to provide a strong line of communication.
Our services include family wealth management, saving for retirement, and estate planning and trust services.
Getting started is as easy as picking up the phone. After all, when everything is said and done, isn't it about time?
It's the final game, folks. This one wins the series.
Struck out with the cheap seats? Important things aren't worth compromising. At Farmers, we offer both quality insurance and great savings. Here, take mine.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Bullhouse rips it out. Here we go. Miles Steffen to run the first attack here. And a couple of points on that possession. Doesn't get it. Physical game early. Slow down. The game gets slopped up. And it winds up being an all-time classic. I expect nothing short of that tonight again.
Yeah, I think so.
Neves, corner, got one. And a timeout from Coach Vanderslice Gymnasium. Continues to carry his pregame show. Let's take a look. Best thing to say about it, really fun contest. Bulldogs will get it out of the break right here with 53 seconds to go. Hey everyone, Nate from Michigan Game Night. If you haven't already, make sure to check out the end. Going by DeYoung and the Bulldogs. DeYoung for Regneris, free throw line. Turns the back, left wing, Wade, triple try, splash! What a couple of moments and possessions for the Bulldog freshman. Timeout from Coach Riddell. Unbelievable. Here for Reynolds, second free throw, the right hand overhead motion is good for Caden Neves. Really terrific game for him. He's now got 10 of Granville's 26 and a 6-point lead for the Bulldogs. Left wing, Sorokin bounding in the lane, left corner DeYoung, all alone. You're for Jackson DeYoung, Granville by 9. It is good for Caden Neves, really terrific game for him. He's now got 10 of Granville's 26 and a 6-point lead for the Bulldogs. We'll go to highlights. We start in the first half with the Neves dump and then a couple more that we'll follow that up with. All alone, drives the basket, jams it, and one! He's fouled through the dunk. Caden Neves finishing strong with the right hand, has a chance for one more.
You can feel confident.
We are Centennial Securities,
An independent firm with a team of committed professionals
who strive to exceed our clients' expectations by giving outstanding service.
We're proud to be part of our community where we live and work.
You can feel confident choosing Farmers, which means a black cat doesn't always spell bad news.
What about a gang of them?
Actually, a group of cats is called a clouder.
Isn't that right, tough guy?
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Zeeland West. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, Centennial Securities pregame show, getting a little bit closer to tipping things off this evening as Muskegon and Zeeland West get ready to lock horns in this one here tonight. CT, a lot to get to in this contest here in our Centennial Securities pregame show. Let's start out though by taking a look here at some of our leading talking points in this ball game, and we opened it with it, but let's look at it again. Going for the green. The 2024 OK Green title chase is the most competitive of probably any right now in West Michigan, quite honestly, with 3 teams all within a game. Reese Puffer, Muskegon at the top, Zeeland West still having to play each of those teams twice as well. It's a unique situation where Zeeland West is right now third between a tie in front of them, but the Ducks have got to play both the teams ahead of them still, and they, by winning out, can at minimum earn a share of the top of this conference race. So things very much alive for both of these teams, and tonight is going to go a long way in determining who takes the OK Green title.
Yeah, it sure will. Muskegon, just the one loss coming to Reese Puffer. They've played them a second time already, beat them, split that series. And so Muskegon, if they get the win here tonight, they've got the easier remaining schedule. Like they're going to at least have a share of the OK Green. Zeeland West, even though they're a game back, have lost both the first round matchups to Muskegon and Reese Puffer, got the second matchups with both of those schools left. So it's a tough road, some really good teams and games that they've lost, but if they're able to come out with a win in both of those games, have still very much put themselves in a position by handling the rest of the conference to be right there at the end.
All right, as here come the Big Reds, we're going to talk about watching the Wings, because these are teams that have got a lot of size, a lot of athleticism, and a lot of talent on their wings. We know it for both of these teams, of course, for Zeeland West. Merritt Aldrink will talk a lot about the Indiana State committed senior as well, but Luke Baker coming off 24 points on Tuesday, one of the best games really of his long career here, a 4-year starter at Zeeland West. And then Muskegon, I mean, a guy like Justin Watson, who was a big part on last year's team that went all the way to the state championship game. Montrell Oliver adds in that as well. James Martin, really kind of a 2-guard, but an incredible freshman, and the list goes on. The play, the athleticism, the matchups on the
those have been the guys now for a couple years for this Ducks team, and it's such a huge part of their success, but the pretty good matchup, and the Big Reds feel pretty good with the guys that they've got. Montrell Oliver, Justin Watson, guys that have been around as well, got some experience now, been part of a championship team, and they feel pretty good about that matchup and trying to neutralize and see who comes ahead with those couple guys playing head-to-head.
Lastly, the idea of experience counting in this one, because these are teams that are led by multiple multi-year senior starters and senior leaders. For Muskegon, of course, you've got a guy like Justin Watson who returns from a state championship game last year. He was a big part of that state championship game against Cass Tech. Montrell Oliver has been around, started his career at Grand Rapids Union, made his way over here to Muskegon. Terrence Davis, a multi-year starter as well as a senior. So a lot of talent there. And then for Zeeland West, I mean, Merritt Aldrink, 4-year starter. Luke Baker, 4-year starter. Miles Steffen's been up since he was an underclassman, and that list can continue as well. There is a lot of senior and experienced leadership that will lead the day in this ball game.
Yeah, both these teams have a luxury of having that senior leadership. Turns to be this time of the year, and you start to look around, making pushes for the conference as we talked about, and of course the playoffs going to be upon us very quickly as well. And both these teams have a lot of experience, guys that they trust, been in these moments quite a bit. For Muskegon, deep playoff runs. For Zeeland West, been right there and playing some good basketball at the top of the conference and looking to go on a run of their own. And so both these teams have a lot of guys that they can trust in these moments in these big-type games late in the season.
Yeah, and a couple coaches that I think are each trying to make a mark in a different way. Coach Klein here at Zeeland West has really been a part of this build-up with this program centered around these guys like Merritt Aldrink and Luke Baker that have come up, of course. Keith Guy, already a state champion, made it to the state championship game a year ago. And coaches, Chandler, that have got different styles. Zeeland West typically, they're aggressive, but they're a little bit more half-court. They're a little bit grinding man-to-man in the half-court. Muskegon, a unique system for Coach Guy, and it's one where they try to be as comfortable as possible, and they try to make you as uncomfortable as possible. They'll pressure you on really every square inch of the floor that you're going to be on, but they're willing to take whatever the defense gives them offensively. Does that mean throw it around, take a minute against a zone like they've been known to do? Yeah, they can do that. Does that mean taking the quick driving lane and going as fast as their defense wants to make the game? They might do that as well. So that's the other interesting thing to watch is Muskegon. They want to pressure you everywhere. They're okay with a couple different paces on offense. We can expect Zeeland West to want to be a little bit slower, a little bit more controlled and physical in terms of the general style of game.
Yeah, I think the Zeeland West team, when you look at the players and the size that they have at the forward/wing position, where they kind of can lock things down a little bit if they can slow this game down. But unique for the Big Reds, as you kind of hit on, where they've got a style where they're trying to force you. They've got guys that can run the floor, but they've also got some good size at the wing and forward position as well that we mentioned that if they get into a half-court style game, they're not just strictly a run-and-gun type of team as well. They can slow things down, and it's a large part of why they've had the successes that they've had.
The Ducks here tonight just walked through the camera shot behind us for Zeeland West. Taking that a step further, so like I mentioned, Zeeland West typically a team that we know them a little bit more man-to-man defensively in the half court, the way that they like to play things. They have in the past used a couple different zone looks, maybe like a 1-2-2 matchup or that sort of thing. I think that's interesting because I think if Coach Klein has some trick up his sleeve, it probably is going to come from a half court zone to try to slow up and try to make Muskegon uncomfortable, make Muskegon force shots that Coach Guy doesn't necessarily want them taking. I think that'll be one of the key things that we'll have our eye on for Zeeland West, is if their typical kind of grinding style is not there and isn't working. I very likely think that there's something up their sleeve because you have to find a way to make Muskegon take a shot that they don't want to take, which typically they don't do because either through athleticism quickly or through patience and through good ball movement and a little bit more patient possession, they typically get that shot.
Yeah, we'll see, following that in the first matchup, if these teams already met and game that was closed most of the way and then Muskegon able to pull away late, we'll see what the adjustments are from Coach Klein and see what he's able to do if he decides that going to his own defense, whether it's primarily or kind of on and off again and something that they can throw out there. But if they're trying to keep the game slower paced, it's zone defense, something they can definitely put out there and try to slow Big Reds down and then force some shots over the top rather than attacking to the basket.
All right, we got a lot still to get to here on Game Night as we roll on with our MGN Centennial Securities pregame show. Do not go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back here from Zeeland West.
We are Centennial Securities,
an independent firm with a team of committed professionals
who strive to exceed our clients' expectations by giving outstanding service.
We're proud to be part of our community where we live and work.
You can feel confident choosing Farmers, which means a black cat doesn't always spell bad news.
What about a gang of them?
Actually, a group of cats is called a clouder.
Isn't that right, tough guy?
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
MGN, here's the driver. I am Chandler 2.
Oh, wow.
We're going to leave this in.
All right.
This is staying in the show. He is Chandler Timmer. I am Nate Dreyer. This is what happens when you work together for 6 years. The names are one.
We're just one, yeah.
Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Michigan Game Night, Tailgate Report. We clearly have to stop talking. I do at least. I will see you all. I see you too. Friday night, Granville, Wyoming. I think 6:30 we're on the air for that. Goodbye. You like cartoons? This has our logo on the front, on the back. The Bulldogs, the biggest games, the best teams. That's our tagline because we do all of that, even though it makes some people mad. So I'm glad to see that after Tuckus came and went, that. Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
That things are still on track there. God. Jennison. Things that stand out. Davison is going to kick everyone's. Bleep that. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. And he has returned He's still on the beach. We've been bugging him about it all week long, but Chandler Timmer joins me here on the Base Agency pregame show. CT, you seem to be doing better than the rest of us.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty nice down here. I kind of like covering basketball this way.
I'm sure you
continue
do.
looking to this moving forward.
I can't blame you one bit. All right, let's talk a little bit more about Forest Hill Central, because when you... Waylon Haney just hit a half-court buzzer beater to win the game. At the buzzer, the JV game. Granville wins 55-52.
Yeah, rather than just always relying on one player.
Yeah, Scott Bates Agency pregame show continues here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. CT, I think the next thing that you have to mention most notably in this contest is break me every time still. Every single time that happens, it gets me. The winners still go to the Heartland student section last year at the Breslin Center. Those guys win every time. Season. And we'll wrap up our broadcast with the Heinz Orthodontics smile of the game. Grown at that point guard position. Tough backcourt in general. Getting to some of those other pieces that we have out there. After 3 years, it finally almost came down on me. Good catch. I don't know what kid caught that, but that was a good catch. But regardless, a tough back.
Do you have any comments on the trolls?
No. I mean, I'm with you.
You're friends with the trolls? You are a troll?
Well, I have troll tendencies potentially when it comes to egging you on, I guess. But
your flight's at 5, or your?
Yeah, the flight out of Panama City is like at 5, and we don't get home till like midnight. So
that sucks. So you're actually, that was a lie. You're not going to be tuning in.
Yeah, no. If I'm at the airport at that time, I will be. But I'm likely missing most of it.
Okay.
We are Centennial Securities,
an independent firm with a team of committed professionals
who strive to exceed our clients' expectations by giving outstanding service.
We're proud to be part of our community where we live and work.
Upgrade to Music Jams Premium to get uninterrupted listening on all your favorite tunes. Click here to start your 7-day free trial.
If it's important, it's not worth compromising. Which is why with Farmers, you don't have to compromise quality to get great savings on your insurance. I got this.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Centennial Securities pregame show here on MGN on Michigan Sports Radio. Zeeland West in a big OK Green clash, tied for first Muskegon, and third place, just a game back of them. Zeeland West is this is still completely up for grabs in the OK Green. 52-35 last time around. Muskegon did win at Redmond Potter Gymnasium over the Ducks, but a game that I think was closer in the score. It was just a 3-point game after 3 quarters, and certainly we can expect that sort of battle here again tonight. And at the core of that battle, a couple of guys that certainly we'll be keeping our eyes on that we haven't gotten into too much yet, and that is the experience of this team and the absolute peak of experience on these two teams. We start with Zeeland West, and we start with Merritt Aldrink, the Indiana State signee, a 4-year starter. He reached his 1,000th career point a couple of games back, CT. You know, Merritt is a very, very special talent, and what's mostly interesting about Merritt is the way that he's changed his game. He came up more as a post-style player. He really worked to add more wing elements to his game. He has done just that, and at 6'7", he can score at all 3 levels. He defends all over the floor as well, can really defend 3 levels as well. Merritt has become a unique type of weapon for Coach Klein and the Ducks.
He sure has. He's always had a tremendous size for his age coming up into this program, and as you mentioned, has kind of developed his skill set to really prepare himself for the next level, and it's taken this team to the next level as well with how well he plays. He still has the size and the ability to play down low and in the painted area, but now has the ability to step out, can handle the basketball really well for how big he is, and can
Another guy, of course, that we know very well. All right.
What would you do with some extra time? Shop Fastlane today.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage. Have you recently collided with a deer or been caught in an unfortunate accident? Don't worry, Car Center Collision and Glass is your trusted partner to bring your vehicle back to life. With convenient branches in Cedar Springs, Burton Heights, Alpine, and Big Rapids, we're right around the corner to provide expert assistance. From collision repairs to mechanical fixes, we're your one-stop solution for all your car needs. Check us out at carcentermi.com.
All right, we're back. Welcome back. Centennial Securities pregame show. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer here on MGN and CT. Getting a little bit closer to tip-off here. Got the audio issues fixed. And let's delve into things a little bit more in this matchup. Let's take a look one last time. We were talking about Mackay Guy, third-year varsity guard starter, Wayne State football signee. I mean, this is a guy, the one thing that comes to mind about Mackay Guy is teams that he is on simply win. That's the best way, I think, to describe this kid.
Yeah, it sure is. It doesn't really matter the sport. Anywhere he's been winning a lot, and it's been some state championship runs. He's been a part of every single game on every single sport there is, and just a guy that when you're looking for a leader that can run your offense, can run your team, has everything you want in a player in terms of a leader, and doesn't get much better in terms of that as far as Mackay Guy.
All right, lastly and quickly before we go on to the national anthem, starting lineups to follow, keys to the game for Coach Klein, for Coach Guy. What are they each looking at heading into this ball game?
Yeah, we'll see if the Ducks can come up with a way to try to slow Muskegon down a little bit. If they can bring out some zone looks we've seen from them in the past, primarily don't play zone defense a whole lot, but if they have in the past at times, if they can break something out, keep the Big Reds into some slower possessions, force them to shoot over the top, prevent the Big Reds from getting out and running in the open floor, I think the Ducks will be able to try to keep themselves in the game. And on the other side, the Big Reds looking for big games from Justin Watson and Montreal Oliver. Going to be tough matchups against Luke Baker and Merritt Aldrink, but if those guys can score, can hold up on the defensive end, there's a good chance they can go 2-0 against the Ducks this season.
All right, I cannot wait to see it. That'll do it for our Centennial Securities pregame show. Like I said, we'll send it down courtside in just one moment here from Zeeland West. Muskegon and head coach Keith Guy coming 14-2 on the year, 10-1. They're tied for the top spot with Reese Puffer in the OK Green. Zeeland West just one game behind them at 14-5 overall and 9-2 within the conference. Zeeland West is riding a 4-game win streak though right now. They've been playing some of their best basketball of the year down the stretch, including at the Kentwood Showcase where they took down Cass Tech. Muskegon fans know Cass Tech. That's the team they fell to in the state championship game in Division I a year ago. So this team is playing some really, really great basketball as of late down the stretch. And I cannot wait to see what we're going to get going in this one here tonight from West. Let's step aside. We'll set it down for your national anthem. Here's the public address.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a big game coming up here, but before we get things started, we'd like to ask everyone to stand as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. We also would like to invite everybody to sing along, and gentlemen, please remove your caps. starting lineup. And let's start off by visiting the Muskegon Big Reds. Starting for the Big Reds at guard is a sophomore, number 1, James Martin. Next up is a guard, he's a senior, number 3, Mackay Guy. Next is a senior as well, forward, number 5, Montrell Oliver Jr. Next is also a forward, is senior, number 10, Justin Watson. And the remaining senior, he's a forward, number 24, Terrence Davis. Your Big Reds are coached by head coach Keith Guy, assistant coaches Maurice Sain, Josh Wall, John Thrower, and Shikari Churchwell. And now for your Zeeland West Ducks. Starting with the left guard from Quincy, the senior, number 0, Trenton Bullhouse. Next up, a senior from Quincy as well, forward, number 3, Lucas Baker. Another senior, the guard from Quincy, number 5, Miles Steffen. Now we have a senior forward from Roosevelt, number 3, Orion Nance. And also a senior forward from Calgary, number 24, Merrill Aldrin. Your Ducks are coached by head coach David Klein, assistant coaches Brian Cochran and Corey Walters. Tonight's referees are Pete.
All right, we are ready to go. A battle that could change the complexion and the matchups at the top of the OK Green. The Big Reds 10-1 in the green, 9-2 for Zeeland West. And this one is going to be a ton of fun here tonight on Game Night. Wrapping up our Centennial Securities pregame show, we thank them and Farmers Insurance for their presenting sponsorship of MGN on Michigan Sports Radio. Montrell Oliver will step in against Merritt Aldrin, give about 3 inches to the Zeeland West big man. And we're off. Oliver tips it on. Back in the initial control. We'll go to Mackay Guy. He was at the controls of a football state championship this year. He'll skip it to the wing. On to Oliver. A lot of these pieces, 4 of the 5 starters that you see were big parts in rotational players last year, and a team that went all the way to the state championship game for Muskegon. The only one that wasn't, James Martin, the sophomore, who has quickly become one of their best players. As Chandler, it's a 2-3 zone for the Ducks, and right away you saw some quick calculations being made by this Muskegon team before Justin Watson misses. So there is the zone from the Ducks to start things out, and they force a little bit of miscommunication from the offense.
Yeah, as they're able to get into that zone defense, the Big Reds having to adjust, and that's exactly what they're looking to do. Slow them down a little bit, 35 seconds on that possession, eventually a corner three. The Ducks able to hold them to no score.
Miles Steffen able to take it over, gets the defense applied to him from Montreal Oliver. Out of the corner on the curl, Merritt Aldrich, the Indiana State signee, a leaner, rattles out for Merritt. Baker tried to follow on the rebound. He had one of the best games of his career with 25 points and 9 rebounds last time out. Mid-range jumper forced up from Oliver off the mark. Good first 2 defensive possessions out of West. Forced a long one, then forced a quick jumper.
Yeah, even as the Big Reds running down the floor, able to force a tough pull-up jumper.
Couple of quarterbacks on each other right here. Bolhouse backing down Guy, and up top again for Merritt Aldrich to reset things. Aldrich backing his way all the way to the cup. He's off the mark on that one. 0-2 start for Merritt. As Watson's back the other way, he's a deadly shooter. Hands off for Montreal Oliver, and Oliver gets the rattle to put Muskegon on the board for the first time in this ball game.
Ducks down a defender there as Merritt Aldrich was looking for a foul call. Down underneath the other side of the basket. 5-on-4. Big Red's able to get an open look.
Triple from Miles Steffen falls short. Board last touches off the knee of Luke Baker, and the Big Reds will take this one. 2 minutes gone in the ball game. 2-0 Muskegon early. But I still think that Coach Klein's got to be mostly pretty happy with a lot of what his team has done defensively early on in this one, forcing some tough looks, and we'll see if they'll be able to continue that here down the stretch. Trenton Bolhouse showing some token pressure. Here's Montreal Oliver as things have fallen in to a little bit more of a man-to-man look right here, kind of an alternate zone defense. Martin, here's the tricky sophomore off the mark from mid-range. And Miles Steffen and the Ducks will set things back up right here. Steffen defended by Martin, the terrific sophomore. He had 17 points on Tuesday. Did Martin against Zeeland East. Luke Baker, 3. Zeeland West still looking for their first points of the game as Martin is down with some difficulty. And out of that, Orion Yant is able, off a nice feed, to fly to the basket and put Zeeland West on the board.
Got an open 3 initially from Baker. A little bit strong, but able to get the offensive rebound, work it around.
Offensive foul. Well drawn by Merritt Aldrich. He's got a bit of a smirk on that one as he gets pushed off the off-the-ball fight against Terrence Davis, the big football defensive end and tight end. And now it will go Zeeland West's way. That's another part, I think, of what Zeeland West wants to do. This is a cheeky team sometimes with how they play. They're very good at getting the opponents to make mistakes like that, and Merritt able to draw the foul right there.
Yeah, looked like definitely baited Davis into that one a little bit, playing some really aggressive defense, forcing him to shove off a little bit, trying to get some separation.
Steffen to the corner, Baker in rhythm. Off the front rim, and a high-reaching rebound down to Martin, who, this is a sophomore. We'll see him make some big plays today, is as athletic as they come. Oliver loses the handle, and a foul will go against the Big Reds again. They'll whistle Montreal Oliver for his first and the second on the team as West takes it over again. Game script that I think Coach Klein and the Ducks have got to like so far.
First 3 minutes going exactly the way Zeeland West was hoping. A bit of a sloppy game, able to hold up on the defensive end, and even though it's low scoring, Ducks going to trust themselves to try to work around more of a half-court style offensive game.
Here's Baker. He's missed a couple already in the early going of this one. Trenton Bolhouse for Miles Steffen. Baker will pick up the matchup against Martin. Now drop for Steffen, who gets the switch. Aldrich in the post, a size mismatch on Oliver, unable to fight that one in. Put back is good, and Zeeland West has their first lead of the game as Aldrich able to follow up tough.
3 Muskegon defenders all underneath the basket, but Aldrich not giving up on it, knew he had the size to go over top of all of them.
Mackay Guy looking for the lead back, swatted by Bolhouse and ripped out of there by Baker. Now Yant's running with numbers to the corner. Miles Steffen off the back rim, and a foul will get whistled on Justin Watson, 3rd on the Big Reds.
2-on-2 for the Ducks, and got an open 3 out of it. set up pretty well. Stefan able to find the corner, get the wide open three, and then the foul coming on the box out underneath. A strong box out from Yant. Ended up getting fouled from behind.
First foul on Watson, and the third on the team right here, past the halfway point of the first quarter. Baker out of the double. Orion Yant off the drive, gets cut off by Watson. Martin helps, and Martin was the last one to get a hand on it before it then ricocheted off of Yant and the Ducks. And Muskegon will take over with 3:46 in the first. Trey Slotak, the junior, will come in here for Coach Klein. Merritt Aldrink will get a breather out of it. Here comes Mackay Guy to run the offense at the triggers. Oliver. Zeeland West going more to their traditional man-to-man type defensive look here. Mackay Guy lobbing for the big guy. Davis off the bounce, knocks the game back at 4. Good vision right there between the quarterback and his tight end to find the 2.
Davis able to seal the middle of the floor right there, get in between the defenders, and Mackay Guy able to get the pass over the top. Perfect spot. He could catch that, be right underneath.
3:15 to go. Steph into the corner for Luke Baker. Off the drive, finding Yant, and he will go to the stripe. Nice find right there from Baker. Good ball movement. The Zeeland West offense has had some good ball movement and some good-looking possessions against this high-pressure defensive look that you're going to get out of Muskegon.
They've been able to get some pretty good looks out of it despite the low-scoring game. Now back-to-back possessions on Muskegon end. Nice pass, an assist from Mackay Guy, and then another good pass right there to get Yant to look on the block.
That is the first foul on Guy and the fourth on the Big Reds. Fouls are 4-0 right now. As you can see, Coach Guy having a word probably a little bit about that point. As Orion Yant's able to go 1 of 2 at the stripe this time and put the Ducks back up. He's off to a good start, and he's going to, I think, be a very critical piece of what Zeeland West wants to try to do in this ball game. Mackay Guy will reset things offensively for the Big Reds. Back down here with 2:56 to go. James Martin off the drive, off the stop. That's a tough one from mid-range, and it's down the hatch and good for Martin as he shows off his skill for the first time.
James Martin very dangerous with the basketball right there, able to create his own shot in the mid-range game. Very comfortable doing so, knocking that one down.
Bullhouse will back it out, and the Ducks will take their time right here. 2.5 minutes to go in the first. Coach Klein getting a couple subs ready. Aldrink going to come back in. We'll see Kai Anderson for the first time in the ball game. Slotak on for Baker. He gets picked up by Terrence Davis on the perimeter. Long possession continuing, 2:15 and less in the quarter. Bullhouse off the drive. Can't get the teardrop, but gets sent down to the floor. The foul will be on the Big Reds and Orion Yant, the first of the quarter. It'll be on the Ducks, and Orion Yant will be the first one in the quarter on Zeeland West. Substitutions for both sides. Check in right here. The couple I mentioned for Zeeland West, along with Elijah Langston coming in, and Keyshawn Johnson for Coach Guy. Montrell Oliver to run things. He had 10 points on Tuesday against Zeeland East. A Davenport basketball commit for the 6'4" senior wing. Watched by Bullhouse and then able to find Keyshawn Johnson, the lanky junior wing. Johnson off the drive, feeding Langston, feeds corner. Here's Martin off the drive and off the mark. Bullhouse down to the board, and Merritt Aldrink will set things up with 1:42 and less in the first. Bullhouse. Aldrink trying to drive on Johnson. Takes it to the basket, gets a second chance. Unable to score on that one. A lot of offensive second opportunities for Zeeland West, but unable to convert on a couple of them. Back the other way quickly. Guy thought about the deep triple. Johnson back to Guy, a whistle. And a foul will go on the Ducks. Second foul of the ball game on Zeeland West. 4 right now on Muskegon. 1:12 to go in the first, and that foul goes on Anderson for his first.
Anderson, the mismatch down low, trying to fight against Langston, who had a lot of size on him underneath the basket, forced to commit that foul.
Langston up top tries the 3. Strong off the back rim. Board tracked in by Slotak. And again, It'll get slowed down by Bullhouse for Slotak in the wing. Slotak off the drive of the jump to the corner. Kai Anderson rattles it down.
First three of the game, Anderson off the bench. Open in the corner, the kick out. His first shot of the game, able to cash it in.
A game script CT you mentioned a moment ago, I think, is just about exactly what Zeeland West would have asked for right now.
Yeah, very low scoring game. Able to keep the Big Reds contained for the most part.
And the Big Reds taking their time on this possession, reaching pass for Keyshawn Johnson. Trying to fight against a host of bodies, and Johnson will draw the contact, and he will find himself going to the stripe with 26 seconds to go. That is foul number 1 on Merritt Alderink, and the third on the team as Johnson goes to the stripe. 6'5", Keyshawn Johnson, one of just a ton of size and a ton of athleticism that this Muskegon team had. Last year's Muskegon team, as we of course saw on game night covering their run all the way to the state championship game, was a team of course based on guard play. 3 next level multi-year starter guards for them last year. This is a team that's a little bit more based on raw athleticism and raw size, and they certainly bring a lot of that, Chandler, when you just look at the waves that they're able to bring on the floor. Hinkle and Petty will check in here for the Big Reds for the final 26 of the first. And Johnson, one of those guys with size, will go back to work here looking to knot the ball game. And he does just that. So good work at the stripe from Johnson. He goes 2 of 2. And Muskegon has knotted things all up. Here's Stephan and company likely looking for the final shot of the quarter. Stephan with 14, picked up by Keyshawn Johnson. Johnson around the Baker screen with 7. Alderink with 4. Off the drive, floater for the lead at the buzzer, no. And we will be all knotted at 8 after 1. Fun start to this one for sure. We're going to step aside, be right back here on game night. Don't go anywhere.
It's a beautiful time of year, but for many, it is also the beginning of allergy season, which means lots of sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, runny nose, constant drainage, or ear pressure. These are all allergy symptoms we regularly treat. Don't let your allergy stop you from enjoying what you love to do outdoors. We have several ear, nose, throat, and allergy specialists ready to see you. Find us online at MichiganENTallergy.com. We look forward to helping you enjoy the outdoors again.
For who? Let's see.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
All right, welcome back to Zeeland West. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer here on MGN on Michigan Sports Radio. 8-8 after 1, and a game definitely played at the pace and the style of Zeeland West in the first quarter.
Able to control it through the first, exactly what the Ducks were looking for. Slower style game. The Big Reds not able to get out in transition very often. More of the half-court style game. Saw the zone defense early from Zeeland West, and then not as much late in the first quarter. We'll see if they continue to break that out throughout the course of the game.
All right, Ducks will take it out of the break. Stephan and Bullhouse in the backcourt. Kai Anderson remains out there. He's got the lone triple of the ball game. Merritt Alderink, Orion Yant up top, and a travel on Alderink as the Big Reds will take it over.
Alderink catching that ball and the handoff, and then kind of turning around the screen, and she took a little extra step in there. The official's right on top of it, though, right in front of him, calls it the travel.
Reaching pass there from Keyshawn Hinkle around the defense. Back up top for Johnson. Yant picking him up. Johnson, that's a tough one forced against kind of this 1-2-2 tricky defensive zone look the Ducks have gone to, and the Big Reds have forced a couple of shots against it, have had some issues with this kind of alternate zone look.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of shot the Ducks are hoping to force the Big Reds into. They've got guys that can make those mid-range jumpers, but not a super high percentage shot.
Alderink forces one down low, gets it back, banging bodies into the post, and Merritt Alderink with a little bit of a motion burst at the end is able to rattle that one down. He's got 4. Off the drive, and the layup off the mark for Johnson. Spiked out of bounds by Langston, will stay. Zeeland West basketball is Luke Baker will check in here for the Ducks. Aldrink will be the one taking. Actually, it's going to be Big Reds basketball.
Yeah, Aldrink off the rebound. Looked like he got bumped and lost his footing a little bit and kind of just threw it, even though there really wasn't an outlet there. Went out of bounds and going to give the Big Reds another look.
All right, here's Arquez Petty, one of a couple of sophomores along with Martin on this team in the backcourt. 5'9" point guard, and he's setting things up right now against this Zeeland West defense. Watched here by Trenton Bolhouse, the senior guard. A little over a minute gone in the second frame. Petty. Langston. Pressured heavily out of the reach and stolen here by Bolhouse. On for Yant, running defense into offense. Off the turn, Yant, and a tough finish from Orion Yant is down and good.
Really patient from Yant, didn't rush the shot up on the left block, able to pivot around, let multiple defenders go by, eventually gets the open bank and off the glass.
Terrific start for Yant in this one, already 5 points in the ball game. And a timeout called by Coach Guy. He wants to talk things over a little bit, not liking the last few possessions out of his team. We'll step aside, be right back.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
All right, welcome back to Zeeland West. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer here on MGN. 12-8 after with 6:13 remaining in the second. Couple of good possessions in a row out of Zeeland West, and in particular, defensively right now. They've shown this kind of matchup, a little bit alternate zone look, and Coach Guy just had to call a timeout because he certainly has not liked some of what his team's been doing against this zone. He'll show it again, kind of a 3-2 shell, 1-2-2 type approach here defensively. Aldrink will fade back. Triple is off the mark for Guy as he forced that one. And Aldrink rips down the board again. Muskegon really struggling with this. It's kind of a funky zone. It's a moving zone, a little bit of 3-2, a little bit of 2-3, morphs into a 1-2-2. They've done a little bit of everything based on where they move Aldrink to at the point of things.
Yeah, they've had a couple chances out of here now in the second quarter and really haven't threatened much at all.
Aldrink whipping past to Steffen is off the mark, and it's going back the other way. A foul on the Ducks is our first foul of this quarter. Baker set to check back in here for Coach Klein, as that one gets whistled on to Yance for his second, and he will take a seat with that second foul right here.
Yance been playing really physically on the glass, trying to get a box out on the offensive side, get another look at it, but early on was able to do so, got a foul called against him. Now he's got a couple against him in that exact situation. So he's got those two fouls, going to have to find the bench for here a little bit.
Martin, another pull-up. Was able to hit from there earlier. Second chance gets thrown away, and Zeeland West will take it back over. Kind of a forced shot there from the sophomore, nearly able to get the second chance out of it. Steffen watched in the backcourt here by James Martin. 5:20 to go, second quarter. 12-8 early lead here for Zeeland West. Methodical start to this ball game. Aldrink will back to the cup here on Keyshawn Johnson. Steffen tries another three, unable to knock that one down. Also, off the floor, Martin out of the wrestling match. It'll be a jump ball and off the alternating possession. It'll go back the other way. 5:01 to go in the second. Big Red basketball with 3 gone in the second frame.
And still just a 4-0 run to start the second quarter, almost 3 minutes in. The Ducks able to get a couple buckets, and the Big Reds have not had a clean look at it yet. A couple mid-range tough jumpers, a couple deep threes in there as well, but haven't been able to get the ball and get the type of offense that they're looking for.
Two teams that do pride themselves on defense. Both teams giving up less than 50 points per game. The Big Reds in particular only giving up 41.4 this year. Out of the corner, James Martin looking to get back on the score sheet. Can't get the rattle, but Watson tracks down the board for a second chance here. Keyshawn Johnson for Mackay Guy. 4.5 to go, and Guy will reset the offense. Look over to his uncle, head coach Keith Guy. Get the new call in. Here we go with Justin Watson to the corner for James Martin. Guy up top, swinging corner. Watson, the lefty, trying to triple off the mark. That's something I'm surprised you haven't seen more of. Justin Watson at 6'7" might be their best shooter, especially out of the corner. He really killed even Cass Tech on last year's run to the championship game.
Yeah, when he gets that shot going, he's got the size. He can get over a lot of contested defenders that are trying to come out and defend it.
Halfway through the second quarter, here's Trenton Bolhouse off the bounce. Able to find Miles Steffen. It's Watson watching him across the floor. It's Slotok there in the corner looking for it, and he'll get it here. Steffen spinning off the drive, finds Baker all alone. Trenton Bolhouse triple. Goes through the hands of James Martin on the rebound. It stays with Zeeland West. 3:41 to go. Here's Slotok, handing off for Steffen. Baker driving on the big guy Davis on the floor. Mackay Guy ripping it away, gets tied up along with Aldrich. Possession will stay down on this end of the floor, but quick hands right there from Mackay Guy, who is one of the best fast twitch athletes I think I can remember calling in our time here at MGN.
Yeah, very quick to recognize there the spin move from Baker. Saw it come in the middle of the lane, able to come over, get in there and poke that one free enough to cause a jump ball.
Thought about the three there from Bolhouse. Now work corner. Back on to Baker. His three. Rattles, spins, and falls.
First points of the game for Baker. A little two-man game with Aldrich and himself.
All the way back the other way. Johnson will go to the stripe after Baker's finally able to knock down a triple, see if he can get going. And again, it's Johnson off the drive, getting his second look at the line, 2 for 2 at the charity stripe in this game. That foul gets whistled, second on the team in the quarter, and the second on Merritt Aldrich, who likely will be taking a seat right here as Kai Anderson set to come into the ball game. First one rolls down good for Johnson.
First points of the second quarter for the Big Reds, almost 5 minutes in, and right there you can see that was the most they forced, trying to go up tempo. Able to try to get up the floor pretty quickly. Johnson attack right away, not allow the Ducks to set up that defense.
Second one good as well. Pure on both of them at the stripe for Keyshawn Johnson. The lead is 5. 3:05 to go. Slotok had a ton of space. He'll drive. Anderson looking for his second three. Hitting his second three. Fresh off the bench, Kai Anderson knocks down the corner triple.
Slotok had a really good look at it, passed up on it, but eventually able to swing it over, and Anderson gets his second three.
An answer right back down the hatch on the other side for Watson. We'll see if they can get him going from deep now.
First three for the Big Reds, and Justin Watson missed one earlier, able to get that one, and he's a guy that can heat up in a hurry if he gets multiple looks.
Steffen travels there, got caught up, I think, between the pass to the corner of the drive, and the Big Reds will take it over. Now down 5 with 2.5 to go after the trading triples a moment ago.
And we'll see the energy picking up and the speed of the game a little bit right there in the last couple possessions. Turnover from the Ducks. We'll see if the Big Reds are going to try to go here. The Ducks can set up, so going to have to come up with an attack in this half-court defense.
A packed house here tonight at Zeeland West, and so far it's been going the way of the Ducks. They'll rip away another steal, and Steffen is off and running, but losing the possession onto Martin. Here's the sophomore whipping out of the wing for Johnson. Mackay Guy will back it out and reset things. And a foul down low against Bolhouse will be the third of the quarter on the Ducks. 3 on Zeeland West, none so far in this quarter on Muskegon. 2:01 to go, and that is foul 1 on Bolhouse. Oliver back in for Johnson. That's the whole starting unit out right now for the Big Reds. But that last possession also showed it, the way that out of that zone, out of the different looks they've done, Zeeland West has been able to slow the full court march that the Big Reds offense has kind of been looking to get into in transition, trying to find those easy buckets. They have not been there.
No, not at all. And without Merritt Aldrich in the game with those 2 fouls, Terrence Davis is the biggest player on the floor, and they've try to get the basketball to him, but some of the zone defense trying to take that away, and they're not able to do so.
They're back to more man-to-man right here as Martin's got it in the wing. Justin Watson pressured heavily. Anderson got a hand in there. And that foul is going to be on Kai Anderson, 4th of the team. So Muskegon shooting free throws next time. Coach Klein, a little bit of a smirk, disagrees with that foul call as there was kind of some pushing back and forth. I think the initial call probably would have been on Anderson, but the call of what they ultimately called was kind of delayed, and it came after there was a push off back the other way.
Anderson getting right in the grill there, trying to poke that one free, force a misstep, and the Ducks bench reacting like they wanted a hook right there on the Big Reds, and an offensive foul, didn't get it.
Lob down low, picked off by Baker, able to high point and intercept that one. 1:15 and less in the half. Slow talk for Anderson up top. Off the drive against Martin. Regathers. Swung. Slow talk. The junior tries it. That one falls short. Paddled in by Baker. Watson has that swatted down by Anderson. Somehow winds up with a sprinting Oliver off the pass from Guy to the basket. Montrell Oliver will go to the line for 2. That also will put the Big Reds in the bonus.
Here, the Zeeland West faithful thought there was a travel before the foul. Ultimately, they're going to send Oliver to the free throw line as they were getting out and moving there a little bit more once again. And James Martin, I believe, collided with Baker down on the other end of the floor. Martin shaken up a little bit, likely going to have to come off. Looks like he's holding his hand a little bit. But the Big Reds able to get up and run there, capitalize once again.
That is the first foul on Miles Steffen. Free throw off the mark for Oliver as Johnson will come in for Watson right here. We'll see Arquez Petty check in for James Martin. Fouls right now 5-0 in the second quarter. One more here at the stripe for Oliver. Looking to go 1 for 2 at the line. And he's off the mark with both of them. 51 seconds to go, and I think a chance the Big Reds may be holding for the final shot right here. Anderson, defended by Arquez Petty, off the drive. Anderson flying to the basket, he'll go to the stripe. What a game off the bench. Couple of threes for Anderson, couple big defensive plays, and a chance for 2 more at the line right here.
Anderson's been the leading scorer for the Ducks off the bench, had 6 on a couple triples, and now going to go to the stripe to try to add on to that before the half.
That is foul 2 on Terrence Davis. And Anderson misses is a little bit of an epidemic of missed free throws right now on both sides. Watson in for the freshly 2 fouled awarded Terrence Davis. 41 seconds to go in the first half. One more for Kai Anderson. Leading scorer in the ball game was 6 right now. Make that leading scorer in the ball game with 7 as he is pure on that one. 39 seconds to go. The zone back out right here for the Ducks. Three-two zone. Petty over for Guy. Back to Petty with 23 and less. Corner, Justin Watson got some space. Unable to hit it. Board to Mackay Guy. He'll race it out and reset. Swung. Wing Johnson. Arquez Petty. Mackay Guy. Ducking around, slow talk, feeding Montrell Oliver, who will go to the line off the extended possession for the Big Reds with 8 seconds to go in the second quarter. That is foul 2 on Miles Steffen.
Big Reds taking their time against that zone defense. Got a corner 3 out of it. Didn't get it, but then always difficulties sometimes rebounding out of that zone. Big Reds have been able to crash the offensive boards a couple times, work it back around.
Oliver able to hit the first. The Muskegon bench was asking for an offensive foul along the baseline as well, and what originally broke the 3 out of the corner open for Justin Watson. Montrell Oliver able to strike them both down at the line. 7 seconds to go. Here's Steffen with 5. Trapped up by Oliver. Arquez Petty joining. Good work from Steffen. Gets free, heaves at the buzzer, bakes it in! At the buzzer, off the bank, Miles Steffen cashes in. And Zeeland West leads it 22-15 at the break.
Really, the first half, the Ducks were looking for all the way around, able to play their style of game, held the Big Reds to just 15 points, and then have got some scoring. Big banked-in three right there to extend the lead.
All right, what a half it was. A 7-point lead at the break for Zeeland West is looking to come from behind and steal the OK Green title. They certainly can go a long way in doing that here tonight if they're able to pull off the upset. We're going to step aside, be right back with a lot to get to on our Farmers Insurance Halftime Show.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
Michigan hearing experts sell and service several brands of hearing aids. Are you having trouble having a conversation or unable to hear the latest play of the game? We perform comprehensive hearing exams and use real ear measurements to ensure optimal functioning hearing aids for your unique needs. Our highly trained doctors of audiology are dedicated to helping you reconnect with your world. Visit MichiganHearingExperts.com to find a location near you and take the first step towards better hearing with Michigan Hearing Expert.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. A class is elected each year and then honored at an induction ceremony in the fall. They also prevent annual events in support of West Michigan athletics, and they raise funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow them on Facebook or check out the pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at grshof.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Farmers Insurance Halftime Show, 22-15 at the break. Zeeland West over Muskegon in this one. Grinding start to this ball game. By the way, just got a score update. Maybe many of you coming over from that contest to us. East Kentwood takes down Rockford. Pretty big, 62-49 to snap the win streak right there. So the Rams run that I think had many proclaiming maybe they're the best team in the area falls a little bit short against a red-hot East Kentwood team who's had a huge week. So a big night. That continues on, by the way. Brock Conkle's got a heck of a night there because they got the girls' game that's going to determine the OK Red. The Coopersville Unity Christian boys game to determine the OK Blues up. And then the second half of our game. And before we get to the second half of our game, let's start by taking a look at some stats. CT, if you would.
All right, for the Big Reds, not a lot of scoring all the way around, but Oliver and Johnson each had 4 points. Watson had 3. Davis and Martin both with 2 for the Ducks. Leading all scorers, Kai Anderson off the bench with 7 points. Ryan Yant with 5. Alderink had 4. Stefan and Baker both with 3.
All right, let's take a look back at some of the highlights from the first half and really all Zeeland West plays. They were the ones that got the bulk of kind of the exciting splash plays in this one. We start with this tough finish from Ryan Yant. Langston. Pressured heavily out of the reach and stolen here by Bullhouse. On for Yant, running defense into offense. Off the turn, Yant, and a tough finish from Ryan. Kai Anderson, the leading scorer of the ball game, 7, a couple of impact threes off the bench. Here's the second one that upped the lead to, at the time, 18 before there was an answer from Justin Watson seconds later. The strike for Keyshawn Johnson. The lead is 5. 3:05 to go. Slotak had a ton of space. He'll drive. Anderson looking for his second 3, hitting his second 3. Fresh off the pitch. And lastly, our, I think, leader in the clubhouse for the Farmers Insurance play of the game at the buzzer. First off, a great effort from Steffen to even find his way over the half-court line and get through the pressure. But then Miles Steffen heaves at the buzzer, banks it in for a 7-point lead at the break. Oliver able to strike them both down at the line. 7 seconds to go. Here's Steffen with 5. Trapped up by Oliver. Arquez Petty joining. Good work from Steffen. Gets free, heaves at the buzzer, banks it in! Heck of a play right there, certainly from him. Heck of a game plan drawn up from Zeeland West. We mentioned in the pregame show, we specifically said, what kind of zones are they going to run? We've seen this team run some 1-2-2. We've seen them run some 2-3. We've seen them run some 3-2. They'll do all little things for Coach Quine and for Zeeland West to try to slow down opponents sometimes. They like to be man-to-man for the most part. Well, the answer to that question of what will they run was yes, because they ran a little bit of everything, and it all was very effective at keeping an experienced Big Reds team that, they lost their guards from last year, but still have got a lot of pieces that saw a lot of different things in a route to a state championship game last year. And Zeeland West did an incredible job of making this team look very confused offensively and slow them way up on several occasions, force up bad shots eventually.
Yeah, right from the start, the first possession on defense, kind of going to that zone defense, going into it later in the possession, but they've done a nice job of mixing and matching. It hasn't been the zone the entire time. They've thrown in the man-to-man, and they just kind of continue to keep the Big Reds guessing each time down the floor. Just something for them to try to figure out. It's been kind of a unique zone defense to where the Big Reds, they've got shooters from the outside, and they've got some guys that can shoot the mid-range shot as well, but just not had a lot of attacking and scoring opportunities out of it.
All right, 22-15 at the break. In this one, we're going to quick step aside.
Hearing experts sell and service several brands of hearing aids. Are you having trouble having a conversation or unable to hear the latest play of the game? We perform comprehensive hearing exams and use real ear measurements to ensure optimal functioning hearing aids for your unique needs. Our highly trained doctors of audiology are dedicated to helping you reconnect with your world. Visit MichiganHearingExperts.com to find a location near you and take the first step towards better hearing with Michigan Hearing Expert.
We are Centennial Securities,
an independent firm with a team of committed professionals
who strive to exceed our clients' expectations by giving outstanding service.
We're proud to be part of our community where we live and work.
Upgrade to MHSAA Premium to get uninterrupted listening on all your favorite tunes. Click here to start your 7-day free trial.
If it's important, it's not worth compromising. Which is why with Farmers, you don't have to compromise quality to get great savings on your insurance. I got this.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Farmers Insurance Halftime Show. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, Muskegon out warming up, still waiting for Coach Quine and the Ducks, who are just starting to find their way out of the locker room right now. All right, about a minute 20 till tip-off. CT, what are the things that Coach Quine was talking about for Zeeland West first, and then what was Coach Guy talking about trying to flip the script a little bit in the second half?
Yeah, I think for the Ducks, it's continue what you had going in the first half and continuing to mix up those looks defensively. Alderink and Baker, two of your leading scorers, combined for just 7 points, so they probably feel like there's room to improve there. Alderink had 2 fouls and ended up with some foul trouble there at the end of the first half, so I think they're feeling like they get those guys back out there, make some more shots. Alderink can continue to be aggressive. They feel pretty good that they're going to be able to hold on to this. For the Big Reds, they've got playmakers. They've had a couple times where they were able to get out and run the floor. They're going to try to be opportunistic when they're able to do so, but I think they've got a matchup inside that they kind of like with Terrence Davis, and if you're trying to get him the basketball a little bit, he's going to be the key. If they can get him just even a touch kind of in the middle of that zone which is easier said than done. They're trying to take that away. Aldering kind of playing the point of that zone and sinking back in. But if they can get Terrence Davis the ball, maybe kick it out, get some shots out of it. There was just kind of some forced shots and some confusion against that zone, but have to imagine Coach Guy at the half kind of figuring out what they can do and where the passes lanes need to be in order to crack it.
Another X factor I'd look at is Mackay Guy. Didn't score, kind of had some moments that he wasn't as sure-handed as he always is, regardless what sport he's playing at the point. You have to feel like Mackay Guy is going to come out that much more schooled on what we're trying to do for the Big Reds, and I think Guy is going to come out. Even if he's not scoring, I think he certainly is going to make a big difference, as he always manages to do in the ballgame, running the offense, running the defense in the second half. All right, we're ready to go. Thanks for tuning in to the Farmers Insurance Halftime Show. 8 fresh minutes on the board, 7-point lead for Zeeland West. The Ducks coming in right now, solo second, 1 game back, or solo third, 1 game back of the tie for first, a game ahead of them between Muskegon and Reese Puffer. But both of those teams, Muskegon tonight, Reese Puffer next Friday, still on the docket for the Ducks, so they've got a chance to really flip the script a little bit. And they bring out the 3-2 zone to start the second half again right here. And it's a unique 3-2 zone where they kind of fade Merritt back to almost make it more of a 2-1-2 look as well, taking away that inside. Here's Martin off the drive, off the tough pull-up, and off the mark. Martin runs to his own rebounds. Off the drive again, the sophomore misses twice. The possession continues. Martin able to somehow find Davis cutting to the basket, and Terrence Davis off the third opportunity scores. He's got 4.
And multiple chances set on the offensive glass, and able to continue to move the basketball around, eventually get it down low, and Davis able to get the short-range shot drop in.
Steffen for Bolhouse. Dumps to the corner. Here's Steffen. The triggered 3, missed it all. Board tracked in by Bolhouse along the end line. Trapped from behind Yant, but he's fouled by Montrell Oliver. First foul of the quarter. 7:08 to go in the third.
Offensive rebounds all around for both teams coming out of the half. Ducks able to get one of their own eventually before the reach-in foul.
Barrett Aldrink, he'll try the 3 over top of Oliver, unable to cash in. Baker down and good with the rebound and the second chance. And a foul underneath the basket on West at the end of the play. 5 now for Baker.
Those are 2 of the guys the Ducks want to see more of offensively, I think, in the second half. Aldrink the open 3, Baker for the putback.
Out of the corner, Justin Watson just off the mark. Another second chance opportunity. Rolls out for James Martin. And Aldrink's able to track in that rebound. Aldrink all the way across and well out of the reach. Too hot to handle for Trenton Bolhouse, and the Big Reds will take it back over off the unforced error there from Merritt Aldrink.
Just a pass. Merritt Aldrink thought he could get over the top of the defense. One hand whip it over and just way over the head. Never a chance.
Official timeout for Justin Watson, finishing up tying his shoe and doing so expertly for Coach Guy to finish his point with the sophomore guard. That is the heady play of a senior who was a part of a state championship run team a year ago. Aldrink comes out to point the 3-2 zone here again for Zeeland West. They've been pretty comfortable falling back into it. They'll do it again right here. Guy, good find to Oliver. And he'll go to the stripe for one more on a blocking foul.
Big Red's finally able to tie up that zone defense. Pass fake out to the wing and then able to slip it down low to Oliver. Draw that defender down low in the block area out.
Fouled the first on Baker. That is the first on the team. It was just a whistle to reset underneath the hoop at the end of that last bucket a couple of possessions ago for the Ducks. Oliver is able to rattle home and complete the 3-point play, and just like that, the lead is just down to 4 as Oliver's got 7 in the ballgame. 3-quarter court trap is on. Whipped on here for Baker. Bolhouse back to Baker. Pressure getting up here defensively on the other side. Dump pass from Steffen. Miscommunication with the Ant. And the Big Reds take it over as Muskegon now speeding things up with a 1-2-2 of their own, but in the full court.
And that's how big, if the Big Reds can crack the zone defense of the Ducks, then they can have time to set up their pressure of their own and kind of flip the script on Zeeland West.
No pass there from Mackay Guy to James Martin. He'll survey all the way across to Watson. Triggers off the triple, and that is pure high-arcing triple down the hatch. The lead is just 1.
Watson looks like he's got it going. He's a lethal corner shooter. He's made 2 threes now.
And sensing a bit of the danger, Coach Klein will call his first timeout of the ball game. We'll step aside and take one right alongside the Ducks.
The 76 Diner and Truck Stop would like to invite you and your families to come and check out their diner. With locations in both Byron Center and Coopersville, they're a great place to stop before or after the game. They have a wide variety of menu choices to feed all the kids. They serve breakfast hot all day, and they're able to accommodate all of your large group needs. Their full menu is available for takeout orders, and they have online ordering at 76truckstopdiner.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Third quarter, 24-23. Quick little run right here. +6 advantage to Muskegon to start the second half, and because of that, Coach Klein forced to quick call a timeout and reset things. What have the Big Reds done well out of the break?
They've done a much better job. Kind of knew that zone, that 3-2 type zone was going to be back out. They were able to work it to the corner there. One of the weaknesses of that zone defense, and Watson, who's a three-point shooter from the corner, able to get his second of the game and get the Big Reds just a point down.
Big Reds playing a matchup zone of their own right here as they've compressed that 1-2-2 into the quarter court. And now Zeeland West has to contend with a little bit of their own medicine here. Baker with a little bit of space. Got it! Luke Baker, big triple to answer right back there.
We're starting to see the shot making pick up now in the third quarter. Defense matchup switching up for both teams, but you've seen shots start to drop now.
3 minutes gone in the third. Zeeland West going back more man-to-man right here defensively. They switch the matchup as Martin will pick up against Bullhouse. Tough one from the sophomore forced. That last touch to reaching Terrence Davis, and Zeeland West takes over. So just as the Big Reds go zone, the Ducks go away from it.
And right away, James Martin goes right back to trying to create his own shot. We'll see. He's got the ability to do that, but I think the Big Reds probably want to try to get a little bit more team offense going against what the Ducks have been doing and playing really well on the defensive end.
Weren't able to get a touch on that one on the inbound, and the Big Reds bring some full court man-to-man pressure. Miles Steffen gets watched over the timeline by Martin. The sophomore trying to draw the offensive foul. No call, goes either direction. And the wing, Baker trying another one. Forward down to Terrence Davis. Approaching the halfway point of the third. Here's Mackay Guy. Guy will back it out and reset here. Gets watched by Bullhouse. 4-point lead for the Ducks. Screen, Terrence Davis. Here comes Mackay Guy, skipping to the corner. Martin off the drive and then no look. Watson steps around the defender, launches a long two, can't get the rattle. Follow, put back and one. James Martin. Tough finish from the sophomore.
Nobody ever got a body on James Martin. Wide open, able to crash to the glass, go back up, even though the three-point shot missed. The effort from Martin to crash, get the putback in one motion, might result in a three-point play for the Big Reds.
That is the third foul on Miles Steffen. Kai Anderson will have to come in his place as the sophomore unable to cash in on that one. Good tough rebound from the Indiana State signee, Merritt Aldrink. He's going to have a fun team to play with next year, isn't he? That Sycamore squad is kind of a lot of fun to watch this year. A true dark horse in the run as we head towards March. Baker to the corner. And a double dribble gets whistled on Trenton Bullhouse. The Big Reds take over. They can tie or take the lead on this possession.
Bullhouse just really didn't catch that one cleanly in the corner. Maybe would have had a chance to try to put a shot up if he did, but dribbled it a couple times, picked it up, and then tried to drive again as he was probing into the inside there and turned it over for the Ducks.
All right, Mackay Guy, trailing by 2, will trigger up the offense. Has not scored yet so far on this one. Here is James Martin, the terrific sophomore, gets picked up by Aldrink. What a crossover, what a drive, and he'll go back to the strike. So difficult to stop when he gets going downhill like that. Among the better athletes you're going to find in West Michigan off the bounce.
Going right at Merritt Aldrink, and yeah, Aldrink going to pick up his third foul now. Had to find the bench for a few minutes in the first half because of the 2 fouls. Martin goes right at him, picks up the third.
Merritt finishing up arguing his case after picking up that foul. Martin back at the stripe is unable to hit the first. He's kind of been fighting it tonight. It's mostly been the effort plays for James Martin that he's needed to go to. Had 17 points against Zeeland East on Tuesday night, and he's been a huge factor of this Big Reds team down the stretch. And Martin is able to cash in on the second and bring the lead within 1. 5 now for the sophomore. Merritt Aldrin going to get to run it. Working with those 3 fouls. Hassled in the backcourt by Montrell Oliver, trying to draw the call. All the way to the basket, and a foul on the floor. We'll get whistled on Montrell Oliver for the second of the quarter on the Big Reds. 3:23 in the third. Trey Slotak set to check in here for the Ducks one more time. That's foul 3 on Montrell Oliver as well, as it will be Merritt Aldrin going to the bench here for Slotak. Oliver, after picking up the third for right now, will stay out there for Coach Guy. Bullhouse whips the inbound to Baker, who settles it down over top of Terrence Davis. Baker turned the shoulder a little bit. Anderson through his hands, errant pass into the backcourt. It was touched by the Big Reds, then dove on by Anderson before he got wrapped up with Oliver. It will be Muskegon basketball out of all of that. Arquez Petty into the ball game for Coach Guy, as now Oliver and those 3 fouls take a seat. That was a dangerous play for Oliver, working with 3 fouls, going after a diving ball like that.
Yeah, could easily pick up a foul there on some of the contact. The officials letting it play out both ways, and Oliver able to avoid that 4th foul.
Zeeland West back to trying to grind right now, man-to-man in the half-court defensively. Inside 3 minutes to go. Stolen away by Bullhouse and the Ducks. Trenton Bullhouse for Kai Anderson. 7 points for Anderson to lead the way offensively for his side. Bullhouse stopped up by Arquez Petty. Trey Slotak turns and travels. Kind of a delay call, but he shuffles that back foot on the stop up, and the Big Reds again take over with a chance for Coach Guy's team to go up.
The Big Reds have been playing much better on the defensive end as well now. Have forced some turnovers. Zeeland West only 5 points in the third quarter, all from Luke Baker. Able to force another turnover there in the middle of the lane.
Martin bouncing to the basket. Poked out of there by Yant, taken by Baker. Great play there from Orion Yant to take away the second chance that was coming for James Martin. Here's Anderson. Off the drive. Maybe got away with the travel. Misses the bucket as Davis pushes it in transition to the basket. Mackay Guy has his first points of the game, and the Big Reds have taken the lead.
2-on-1. Luke Baker forced to try to play the weak side there, and Mackay Guy just able to take it all the way in.
Bullhouse backing. And a foul on Mackay Guy. Kind of bails out Trenton Bullhouse right there for sure.
Yeah, I think Coach Klein also wanted a timeout. Thought maybe they were going to get that in first, but the foul called on Mackay Guy, and Coach Klein will take that as his opportunity to try to get his offense reset.
Second foul on Guy, 3 on either team in the quarter with 1:42 in the third. Here's Kai Anderson up top, watched here by Mackay Guy. Guy all over him, reaching for the basketball. Guy the effort play on to Arquez Petty, to the basket, swatted by Orion Yant. Defense all over, but no whistle called, and that's what Coach Guy's asking for. Both coaches are asking for fouls right now, by the way.
Yeah, I think Coach Klein wanted the foul on the Mackay Guy when he was able to pick it free, and then Coach Guy wanted one on Yant, who the Big Reds had a 2-on-1, and Yant just able to go up and knock that one free.
Keyshawn Johnson up top, 90 seconds to go in the third. Lead is 1 for the Big Reds. OK Green showdown here. In the corner, Davis, miscommunication, loses it. Big Reds give it up. Coach Guy not happy.
Looking to swing that one to the corner, and just at the wrong time as Davis was cutting down along the baseline.
Two coaches that are as intense as it gets, and I think things are only going to ramp up from them and their teams down the stretch in this one. 1:13 to go. Here's Merritt Aldrink. Back out there, working with 3 fouls against right now. Miles Steffen in the same situation, also out. Slotak Across for Steffen, passing lane, read by Guy. He'll take it back. Guy, defense, looking for offense and a foul as they get heavily tangled up at the end of the play. And Guy's going to be slow to get up as he took a lot of contact on the back end of that play. And will take his time to get settled. That was a hard hit against the end line from Mackay.
Multiple defenders for the Ducks there going up, and Mackay guy able to get in front of it, get the shot up, and yeah, Mackay guy looks like he's a little shaken up, going to attempt to shoot these free throws here, but likely going to need to sub out quickly after that.
And tap to his chest that I got him, and he will try him. That, by the way, foul gets whistled on Miles Steffen. The first one's off the mark for Guy, who's really struggling. I mean, he's as tough as it comes. That's another thing we know about this guy, but that foul now on Miles Steffen will send him back to the bench because he's now working with 4. One more from Mackay Guy at the stripe. Able to make that one. So Guy goes 1 of 2, fighting it tough, and he'll stay out there for the time being on the other end of the floor. Let's see if the Ducks try to attack against Guy defensively right here. He'll come out to help trap. Slow tack for Bullhouse. Swung into the corner for Luke Baker. 47 seconds in the third. Trapping pressure comes from Marquez Petty. Slow tack off the drive. Paddled from behind by Petty. 37 seconds. Kai Anderson back in. A lot of subs back and forth right here. Slow tack will take a seat. Montrell Oliver will come in for Coach Guy as Mackay Guy will get a rest. He is still really fighting at the end of that play. Bullhouse in for Anderson, looking for his third 3 of the game. Off the mark, board to Bullhouse. Strong fight, ripped away by a sprinting James Martin. No looks it to Keyshawn Johnson. To the basket of foul will send Keyshawn Johnson back to the stripe for the 3rd time in this one. 26 seconds to go, and that foul gets whistled on Orion Yant for his 3rd of the ball game, 5th on the team in the quarter.
Late in the 3rd quarter, we've seen the Big Reds now be able to get out and run and transition more than they have throughout the course of the game to this point, and they've been able to take the lead because of it. Some struggles at the line for both teams in the second half as Elijah Langston will come in for Terrence Davis. One more for the 6'5 junior, Keyshawn Johnson here. 4 points in the ball game, done all this dirty work at the stripe so far. And Johnson able to cash in 1 of 2, stretch the lead to 3 here for the Big Reds. 5 points now for Keyshawn. Merritt Aldrink going to pick up some of the dribble here in the backcourt. 21 seconds to go. Aldrink off the drive. Johnson will stick with him. Poking in defensively with 13. Yant with 6. Hits the cutter. Bullhouse up top for the tie. Aldrink off the mark. Put back Anderson. As Merritt Aldrink was trying to draw a foul on the back half of that play. And that'll do it for the 3rd. We're going to step aside, be right back. It's going to be a classic. Muskegon by 3 after 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We are Centennial Securities,
an independent firm with a team of committed professionals
who strive to exceed our clients' expectations by giving outstanding service.
We're proud to be part of our community where we live and work.
You can feel confident choosing Farmers, which means a black cat doesn't always spell bad news.
What about a gang of them?
Actually, a group of cats is called a clouder. Isn't that right, tough guy?
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer here on MGN. Welcome courtside here at Zeeland West High School CT. 30-27, going to the final frame. This is going to be a really good finish to this ball game. That much we know for sure.
Yeah, it sure is. The Ducks able to control the first half, but much better third quarter for the Big Reds right there, doubling their output. Had 15 points in the first half, 15 points in the third quarter, so we'll see who comes ahead. Going to be back and forth, you'd have to imagine, down the stretch in this one.
All right, final 8 minutes. This will go a long way in determining the race for the OK Green. Tied with Reese Puffer at 10-1 is Muskegon. 1 game back of that mark is Zeeland West. The Ducks still got to play this game, and then they've got Reese Puffer along with Mona Shores coming up next week. So a tough finish, but a chance to control their own destiny for at least a share for the Ducks in the top of what might be the most competitive conference in terms of the top 2 or 3 teams in West Michigan. Alderink gets a post touch, and Merritt Alderink goes to the line. First time we've seen the 6'7" forward get backed up and posted up down low. He got that matchup on Keyshawn Johnson, who picks up the foul.
Early in the game, he was very aggressive, slashing and trying to drive to the basket. Had a lot of bodies down low he was trying to contest with. This time more of just a post up right in the middle of the lane, able to get the entry pass down low, let him go to work one-on-one.
Has been a quiet game for Merritt, 1,000-point scorer in his 4-year career, just 4 so far in this ball game, and will remain at 4 after he misses the first. And you would think that Merritt is going to have to be big in this final frame if Zeeland West is going to come back. He's not your typical quote-unquote X factor in the ball game, but he becomes it. Unable to cash in on either at the stripe right there. Not a great start for him trying to do so. James Martin out of some space off the drive, and the foul almost rolled down. Will go against Kai Anderson. So 1 foul on either team quickly here in the final quarter. 7:38 to go, and that foul on Anderson is his 3rd. So some foul trouble really across the board right now for Zeeland West. 3 on Anderson, 3 on Alderink, and 4 on Miles Steffen.
And if you're slow to get back on the defensive end, the Big Reds are very quick to attack, and Anderson a bit slow to get down the floor. They immediately get the ball to Martin, who can attack because the defender not there to try to close off that drive along the baseline.
Montrell Oliver, who's working with 3 fouls of his own, will check in for head coach Keith Guy and the Big Reds. Martin hits the second. The lead, by the way, in the last meeting of these two was 3 after 3 quarters as well. The Big Reds wound up winning that one 52-35, so they certainly had a big second half in that contest as well. We'll see if it's a matching narrative or if Zeeland West can come back now trailing by 5. So far, Zeeland West has only scored 5 points in the second half. It's been the defense for the Big Reds coming to the forefront. Merritt Alderink matches up against Montrell Oliver. And a held ball. Will send the ball back the other way. Good defense from Montrell Oliver to tie things up. 7 minutes to go in the ball game.
Alderink trying to slash towards the basket, but Oliver able to get in there and get enough of the basketball to tie him up. Alderink looking for the foul there, didn't get it. Zeeland West back to the zone. Arquez Petty shooting over top of it. Rebound, put back James Martin. The sophomore starting to take over a little bit right now for Muskegon. He's got 9, leads all scorers. That's another one of those effort plays on the weak side, able to go up and get a rebound. Yant didn't get a body on him, and Martin makes him pay.
Coach Klein needs a timeout. He'll take his timeout. Right here is Zeeland West, not off to the start they were looking for in this final frame. Attention all golfers, want to keep your game in shape? The Leaderboard Indoor Golf has you covered. With over 500 courses, a full bar, and 17 TVs, the Leaderboard Indoor Golf is the perfect place to work on your game, host events and parties, and compete in leagues. Visit theleaderboardgolf.com or call 616-500-8709 to book a tee time today. 6:41 to go in the 4th. And it's going to take a bit of a run right here for Zeeland West. This has been pretty classic Muskegon basketball in the second half, CT.
19-5 for the Big Reds in the second half to this point, and they've started to take the advantage here. And if the Ducks aren't careful, trying to take this time out to regroup, if they're not careful, the Big Reds can run away from them, much like they did in the first matchup, where a game that was close through 3 quarters can suddenly turn into a pretty big deficit if the Ducks can't settle things down.
It's exactly what this Muskegon team does. I mean, we've seen them over the years. It doesn't matter what pieces they have, how exactly they're built. They are a team that are experts at winning on the margin of these kind of games. The inbound here to Baker. So out of the timeout, the Ducks will go to work offensively. Trenton Bullhouse up top, gets picked up by James Martin. Miles Steffen. 6.5 to go in the ball game. With ball fake. Off the bounding drive. Aldrich is off the mark. Caught his head a little bit. A travel. Also whistled as Aldrich is slow to get up. And the Big Reds take the basketball.
Aldrich, tough shot to try to get up there in the middle of the lane. Was going right to left and off balance. Looked like might have awkwardly landed. Maybe hit his head a little bit on the back of the head on the court.
Ducks back to the zone right here. Mackay Guy going to hold the ball to set things up against the zone.
Matchups, find your matchups. Find your matchups.
Zeeland West about to swing out of the zone into a matchup zone right here. That's what the call is coming in from Coach Klein near his bench. And they will match up here. Bohaus picks up Mackay Guy. 5:45 in the fourth. Guy from Martin. Martin, long pull-up. Off the mark and the board down to Orion Yant. He's off and running. Yant into the front court. Foul gets called on Mackay Guy. Second of the quarter on the Big Reds. 5.5 to go.
Yant trying to push the pace a little bit, but the Big Reds got into a trap along the sideline, and Yant hit the floor. Mackay Guy wanted a travel call, but foul going to come in on the Big Reds.
Foul's actually going to go on Arquez Petty. These fan bases don't love each other, I'll tell you that much. There's more talking back and forth and gesturing, I think, on the crowd than there is even on the court right now. Out of the corner, Merritt Aldrich. Bohaus off the spin. Bohaus off the back. Petty reaching. Bohaus clutching. Off the mark. Board down, erasing James Martin. Here's the sophomore. All the way to the rack. Swatted by Yant. Hard collision at the end of that play between a quartet of bodies. Corner, back the other way. Steffen off the mark, and more bodies flying everywhere. That was James Martin getting the most of it.
Yeah, we'll see what the call is going to be here. There's been a lot of contact going for a while now, and not all of it intentionally. There's been some collisions. Both teams going hard off the glass. There was 4 bodies, as you said, down on the backside of that play. 2 from each team, and then the contact continuing down to this end of the floor, and James Martin now the one that's shaken up a bit.
Yeah, officials are talking about this as Martin is getting worked on right now. 4:49 to go, and this is going to be an interesting call because this is one of those situations where the player down on the floor, the foul might actually be on him because of how he took away some feet. We'll see how it gets called, though. So far, there's been no whistle on that play, and I think these officials, part of the conversation is they're going to have to they've been allowing a physical game, which I like with what they've been doing. That may have to change here shortly. I believe the foul is going to go on Orion Yant. It is. And that is foul 4 on Yant as Martin is back up to his feet for an applause. Coach Guy getting a word in. 2 fouls on either team here in the fourth quarter. And a game that's getting set to explode right here. Looks like we may have to get the floor wiped down before we get back underway. We'll see. Aldring still looking like he's fighting a little bit after his first of 3 big collisions that he took. I think this is about to get nasty. CT, what do you think?
Yeah, it kind of seems like it. Both teams have gotten pretty physical the entire way. We've seen a lot of collisions, a lot of bodies on the floor, and have to imagine the officials going to do what they can to try to tighten things up, and I'm sure both coaches are going to love that too, and there are no complaints from either side, I'm sure, the rest of the way.
Here's Mackay Guy off the drive, off the pull-up. Guy. Board tipped out of there and taken by Montrell Oliver. What effort right there from Oliver. 4.5 to go. The Big Reds, okay, taking some time here with a 34-27 lead. Petty across for Guy. Is picked up by Bohaus. Quarterbacks in the fall, head-to-head. Bohaus is trying to sell one. Guy will drive to the corner for Oliver. And again, the Big Reds are comfortable bleeding some clock right here. Guy feeding Davis. And a foul will go likely on Merritt Aldrink right here. It will not. They call it on Yant for his 5th. I thought he was away from that play.
Yeah, Yant on the opposite side. Aldrink also there. Both kind of went up. I thought if there was a foul call, likely going to be on Aldrink. Might have got a piece of the arm on the way up, but Yant going to pick up his 5th and going to have to come out of the game now. But Big Reds looked like they were really extending their offense, almost playing a version of the keep away right there. Not fully yet with 4 minutes to go, but really forcing the Ducks to extend their defense out. And Mackay Guy, a trusted ball handler, able to get by the defenders, eventually get that pass down to Davis.
All right, it will be Kai Anderson coming in here for Yant, who has reached the end of his night. Yant does not know he fouled out yet. He's about to learn. 3:58 in the 4th. 34-27. And Terrence Davis, the big guy, goes to the stripe. 4 points in the ball game so far for Terrence. And TJ is able to hit the first. Martin comes in along with the junior Keyshawn Hinkle. Davis converts them both. Big work at the line from Davis. The lead is 9 right here. West gonna have to get working quickly. Bullhouse with 3:50 to go for Merritt Aldrink. Been a quiet night for Merritt. Here he is off the drive. 3, Baker, strong, board, down to Hinkle. And he travels. Zeeland West will take the ball. Coach Klein getting increasingly unhappy with some of the calls underneath the basket. The same can be said on the other side of the floor as well.
Yeah, there, Coach Klein feeling like Kai Anderson had his legs taken out from him on a box out, similar to what was called against them on the other end of the floor, but no call there. The travel instead coming from the Big Reds, and Ducks going to be able to retake possession.
3 fouls right now on West, 2 on Muskegon. Bullhouse able to bound into Keyshawn Hinkle and get a big 2 right there to pull the game within 7. First points of the game for Trenton Bullhouse, and now Bullhouse fouls Mackay Guy. That's the 4th on the Ducks. That foul on Bullhouse is going to be his 2nd. Marquez Petty back in here for Keyshawn Hinkle.
Bullhouse trying to do everything he can to stay in front of Mackay Guy and maybe force a turnover in the backcourt, and trying to sell the offensive foul in there a little bit as well, and instead picking up the block.
Oliver able to whip it into Davis. Here's Mackay Guy. Trapped all up and able to rip out of there. Guy getting followed across the floor. Gathers, maybe got away with a travel. Working, and now a foul. That would be the 5th on Muskegon. Well, if Coach Klein wasn't happy before, that's going to get picked up right here. Is Muskegon going to be shooting free throws.
Ducks really turning up the intensity on the defense. Had 3 guys all swarming around. Mackay Guy trying to reach in there, grab it free. Felt like they had a double dribble, but looked like it maybe had gotten knocked out of Guy's hands. And then Guy just doing everything he could, trying to pivot, stay free so he wasn't tied up.
Second foul on Baker. Still a couple to give here before the bonus for Muskegon on the other end of the floor. Mackay Guy hatchets down the first.
Hey!
4 points now for Guy.
Time. You gotta wait.
Future Wayne State football player and a state champion on the gridiron. Had that coverage on game night a few months back. Able to hit them both. The one guy I don't want to send to the line in a big moment is going to be Mackay Guy, because he executes in big moments. It's the one thing we know about him. Merritt Aldrink off the drive and off the feed to Baker, reaching back for Aldrink. Aldrink off the turn. Bullhouse, the lefty, triggers a triple. Splash! Big one from Bullhouse, and a whistle as a timeout gets whistled right away from Coach Klein. 3 minutes exactly to go. Lead pulls within 6, CT, as always, thanks to Centennial Securities, along with Farmers Insurance, presenting sponsors of Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Make sure you check out the MGN shop through MichiganGameNight.com and the MGN page on Michigan Sports Radio, where we have t-shirts and hats and hoodies and crew necks and joggers and beanies and a variety of dad hats and snapbacks and trucker hats and whatever else I also missed. Long sleeve t-shirts, anything you may want, all MGN branded, and some cool options there on the MGN shop through MichiganGameNight.com. Just click on the link at the top of the page that says buy MGN merch. All right, 38-32. Big three right there from Trenton Bolhouse. Now 5 in the ball game, and really feels like that three may have been the difference in giving Zeeland West a little bit of life down the stretch right now.
Something they really needed right there. Bolhouse is all 5 of his points coming in the last couple minutes in the fourth quarter here, and trying to keep Zeeland West on pace. Only 10 points in the second half, 5 coming from Baker in the third, now 5 from Bolhouse in the fourth, and trying to keep up. Muskegon's been able to get out. Their scoring's gone up significantly after just 15 points in the first half. They've been able to get out and run a little bit. They've gotten some more shot making as well, and so the Ducks needed some scoring right there to try to keep themselves in it. Still plenty of time with 3 minutes down and 3 minutes to go, 6 points down. Still plenty of time to try to come back, but they kind of needed that to flip the momentum.
All right, exactly 5 minutes gone, and Zeeland West bringing the full court pressure. Looks like a full court 1-2-2 trap going to get brought on. Here's Mackay Guy. Swings back and around Davis. Over the timeline to Oliver. Marquez Petty weaving around the defense. Down low, Terrence Davis gets free and scores. Eventually, you survive for long enough against the trapping zone, you'll find the easy two.
Able to keep it alive, and Mackay Guy so good in those pressure situations as well, but the Ducks really selling out, trying to go for a turnover. They know they're probably going to give up a couple of those easy buckets down low if they can get it down to Davis. Aldrink backs and gets fouled by Montrell Oliver. That'll be the third of the quarter on the Big Reds. Just 4 points in the game for Merritt Aldrink. He had a couple at the line that he missed both of back earlier in this quarter. That's 4 fouls now, by the way, also on Montrell Oliver, as Aldrink gets 2 coming up as Coach Klein gets his word with the huddle group otherwise. Aldrink looks to compose himself. He's off the mark. 0 of 3 in this quarter. Slow talk will come in for Miles Steffen, who, remember, also has been working in foul trouble. He has 4 against. Aldrink able to convert the second. He has 5. And here comes the pressure. Terrence Davis right in front of us. Swung back to Petty. 2:15 to go. Petty leaping for Davis. Montrell Oliver getting free along the baseline and getting fouled along the end line. That whistle will go on Kai Anderson. That is now his 4th. Just foul trouble all over the place as Oliver goes to the stripe. 2:10 to go. Montrell Oliver Jr., 7 points for the senior. A Davenport basketball commit. He's going to play some D2 basketball next year. Oliver hits the first. Right now, a little bit of a difference in terms of the success rate at the charity stripe that's added into the second half deficit that Zeeland West has faced. And a full timeout gets whistled in by Coach Guy. We will take one right along.
Was founded based on the belief that the interests of our clients must always come first.
We listen and understand your objectives before making a recommendation.
We customize the portfolio of investments to fit your goals.
It is our commitment to provide a strong line of communication.
Our services include family wealth management, saving for retirement, and estate planning and trust services.
Getting started is as easy as picking up the phone. After all, when everything is said and done, isn't it about time?
It's the final game, folks. This one wins the series.
Struck out with the cheap seats? Important things aren't worth compromising. At Farmers, we offer both quality insurance and great savings. Here, take mine.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back. 2:10 to go here at Zeeland West. And Muskegon a 41-33 lead right here. Timeout. One more coming up the line from Montrell Oliver. And on the other side of that, the West offense going to have to go to work and find a little bit more efficiency than what they have been finding. Just completely struggling in the second half offensively. Just 11 points for them as a team in the second half.
Yeah, it's been a struggle offensively after playing really well in the first half. Merritt Aldrink just 5 points on the night, and during that break there, got the chance to count up 17 made free throws for the Big Reds, just 3 for the Ducks. So if you're looking for the difference in the game right now, the free throw shooting, the Ducks have had a decent amount of free throws and have not shot a high percentage from the stripe, and the Big Reds have capitalized there.
Wow, I mean, you felt like it was that much of a discrepancy, but on cue, a miss, but it certainly just adds to it. Muskegon going to trap a little bit here out of their missed free throw attempt, and Zeeland West now gets a chance to go to work. Under 2 minutes to go. Trenton Bullhouse, 5 points in the quarter, finds Merritt Aldrink. Whips it for Steffen. Back for Aldrink. Thought about the deep three over top of Mackay Guy. He's got the size mismatch right here. We'll see if he takes it. He won't. He'll hand off for Steffen. Back to Aldrink. 1:41 to go and less. Burning some clock right here. Trailing in the corner for Steffen. Cycles it. Aldrink, quick trigger. Rattles out. Rebound. Will get fouled against the Ducks, and the Big Reds take it. That call likely going to go on Trenton Bullhouse. Got the look they're wanting out of Aldrink, but Merritt just continuing to struggle in the ballgame. That foul will go on Baker, actually. That'll be his third. And back to the line go the Big Reds.
And Aldrink just hasn't looked comfortable for the most part tonight. Got off to a decent start, 4 points in the first half, and now in the second half hasn't been able to hit much. Had a free throw, but got the look they wanted out of the corner. Took a while to get into it. They were working well outside on the perimeter for multiple seconds, and then eventually got the tough corner three for Aldrink.
Davis converts the first, and he has a chance on the second to get to double digits himself and make the lead double digits. And he does it. Got the rattle. 10 points now for Terrence Davis. 90 seconds to go. Big Reds trapping. Here is Miles Steffen dropping for Bullhouse. Ducks have got to get some points quick. Kai Anderson, clock ticks under 120. He'll get it back. He'll feed it for Bullhouse. Off the drive, got cut off. Anderson, clock ticks under 115. Baker, corner, triple, looking for three in the ball game. No. Martin wins the race, but it gets touched out of bounds off of James Martin. Zeeland West keeps it. Killed a lot of clock right there, CT.
Yeah, they sure did. And Coach Klein, for a while during that possession, just yelling, shoot it. And you don't want to rush up a bad shot, but they need to start getting some looks up in order to try to come back in this one.
Out of the corner, Baker triggers. Can't hit, but a foul on Keyshawn Johnson will send him to the line for three. Good break right there for Baker to try to extend the ball game a little bit.
Baker, a really good three-point shooter from the corner there. Fouled as he was trying to land, and looks like going to be on the floor potentially now is what the call is going to be.
Interesting. So it's the fourth on the team, and that foul will be the second on Keyshawn Johnson. I'm curious how it could be on the floor unless it was whistled after. Whoa, hang on. Justin Watson just came in running late after there was a whistle. That nearly could have been a technical foul on the end of that. All right, now we're back underway. Baker just tries the deep one. Rebound to Terrence Davis. And he's fouled. Davis will go to the line for a couple. One minute exactly to go. I think we're looking at one of those games where Muskegon they did the Muskegon thing tonight. There's a reason why this team went to the Breslin Center when they went to the state championship game, led in the second half of the state championship game last year. They know how to turn it on down the stretch. It's a little bit different makeup than last year's team, but it's a makeup that still works. This is honestly as athletic and size-laden of a team as what Coach Guy has had in a while. It's a different team than what they had a year ago, but they're showing why they can win, and they're going on a bit of a run down the stretch. Got a tough schedule to finish the year. They have got a couple tough games. They've got Union and Wyoming to go along with Grand Blanc and Kalamazoo Central on the next two Saturdays as well. So they've loaded up their schedule as Terrence Davis has been very good at the stripe. Baker got a quick trigger. Hits it, and a foul.
Underneath, I think they're counting the basket for Baker. Underneath, Anderson fouled as he pushed off underneath the basket, and so right away, Baker's going to go back to the other end and be shooting some more free throws, but the Ducks do get the 3 from Baker.
All right, that is the end of the night as well for Kai Anderson. 11 points now for Baker. One behind Terrence Davis for the lead scoring mark of the game. Elijah Langston goes to the line. Here comes Lincoln Jipping. First time we've seen him out there to give some fouls right here. Yant and Anderson already both fouled out. Here's Langston at the line. 53 seconds to go. Rattles it. Lead back to 10. Langston hits 1 of 2. Board down to Aldrich, 52 seconds to go, trailing by 10. And again, the pressure slowing him up. Jipping just got a quick trigger it. Fresh off the bench, just off the mark. Board to Oliver, tied up by Bullhouse. Possession goes to Zeeland West. 42 seconds to go. They still trail by double digits.
Bullhouse able to get in there. Couldn't fully get the rebound, but able to tie it up enough. Ducks going to stay alive for one more shot.
Corner. It's going to stay with Zeeland West. It was good work by Baker to get his hand out of the way of that tip basketball and make sure it's last off the Big Reds. Baker walks around the screen. Bullhouse with 38 seconds. Bullhouse off the drive, draws the contact, goes to the line for 2. Clock stops with 35.7. Both teams now into the bonus.
Bullhouse was pretty quiet the first 3 quarters offensively, but much better in the fourth, and down 10 yet here, but a strong take with the left hand. He's got 5 points in the fourth already.
3 fouls on Mackay Guy. And that free throw discrepancy just continues to grow. It is, it's pretty much your difference and then some right now in this ball game. And the second one goes for Trenton Bullhouse, able to hit 1 of 2. 6 points, all of which coming in the quarter. Here comes the pressure. Full court 1-2-2. 35 seconds to go. It's like Muskegon on their way to 11-1 in the conference. Hard-fought second half for them. James Martin weaving. And the sophomore gets fouled by Jipping with 31 seconds. He's got 5 fouls to give, uses up the first of them right there. So Martin, the sophomore, they'll try him at the line right here. Martin rattles out the first. A couple more misses getting mixed in right now for the offense for the Ducks.
For you. Fine.
Rattles out. Martin missed them both. 29 seconds. Here's Steffen. Got to work with some pace. Gives it all the way to a leaping Baker. Hands it off for Aldrich. 23 seconds. Got fouled on the floor. Hit the shot after the call.
Reaching, coming in right as Aldrich was ripping through. Going to work towards the top of the key. Made the shot after the foul was called, but Aldrich now going to try to get some free throws with the clock stopped.
That is just the first foul as Aldrich hits that one quickly in rhythm. That is just the first foul on James Martin. He is, I believe, the only player on the floor tonight that's avoided any sort of foul trouble. And quickly and confidently, Merritt Aldrich able to hit both of them right there. He has 7 points in the game. Here comes the trap on to Martin. Gets fouled hard. By Trenton Bullhouse. Well, he said it was going to get nasty, and it just did a little bit right there. Well, Bullhouse plays free safety, so showed off the skills right there.
Looked like he was flying in there, coming downfield and going to try to lay a hit. He was partially going for the basketball, also partially trying to commit the foul right away, right? So a lot of contact. He was kind of grabbing the arm and then swinging free in one motion, trying to grab the basketball. And
do they call a technical on it? Martin is all alone at the stripe, shooting the first here. Missed it. And Martin able to rattle home the second. And now the Big Reds will get the basketball. Off the 2 assessed there. Inbounded, stolen by Aldrink, and one! Merritt Aldrink extends the ball game just a little bit. He's got 9 points now. Can cut the lead to 5 with 18 seconds to go. And a timeout from the Zeeland West bench. They'll have 1 remaining. So, unlikely, but 1 more still at the stripe, and quietly Zeeland West has given themselves at least just going to be down a couple of possessions and a steal away from making things really interesting, I guess, with just under 19 seconds to go.
Yeah, they got a steal on that last inbound, able to get a deflection off Oliver, who's inbounding it. Went right to Aldering, perfect spot where he could catch it down low and draw the foul plus the bucket. And got to hit this free throw. They've had some issues at the free throw stripe all night long, but if they can get another steal on the inbound, they're still in this game. Not a ton of time remaining to try to commit some fouls, and any foul, of course, going to be free throws, as the Big Reds have been shooting for much of this fourth quarter.
18 seconds to go here. Merritt Aldrink finding his game a little bit. Just been a slow game. Terrific job by the Big Reds putting their athleticism on Merritt, and he's certainly struggled a little bit because of that, but amazing this second half out of the Big Reds. I mean, down 7 at the break. They led by as much as 12 on their own right then on the other end in the second half. I mean, this has been a real masterpiece from Coach Guy flipping the script in this game.
Yeah, it has. The third quarter almost immediately able to get something going. The defense locking in, really forcing the Ducks to have some issues on their own end of the floor, and then turning that into some points for themselves. The shooting much better. The attack against the zone defense of the Ducks much better as well.
Big free throw here for Merritt Aldrink, looking to get into double-digit scoring in the ball game, looking to close the gap to 5. Missed it. Oliver gets ripped down by Bullhouse, who will pick up his 5th foul, and that'll be the end of the night for Trenton Bullhouse.
Bullhouse and Oliver getting tied up once again. That time, both going for the rebound, and the arms got intertangled, and with one motion, the Bullhouse committing the foul. It was eventually going to have to come against the Big Reds anyway after the missed free throw.
It'll be Trey Slotak checking in for Bullhouse. 3rd Ducks player that is fouled out in this ball game. No one has yet fouled out on the other side of things. Montrell Oliver, their only player working with 4 fouls at the moment, and he is working at the line. Nine points now for Oliver. He looks to join his teammate Davis in double digits in the ball game. Got it. So, 2 of 2 at the stripe there. Good work from Montrell Oliver. Has 10 points. Whipped up from Merritt Aldrink. Pushes corner. Lincoln Jippin got a quick trigger. Rebound, T.J. Davis spiked away, taken by Guy. He's fouled, and Mackay Guy will go to the line, and that'll just about ice it for the Big Reds. Lead is 8. Already a 3-score game. Guy can only stretch that right here at the line and can make it a 4-score game.
Guy, a big part of the comeback as well. Did not score in the first half. Only 15 points for the team. Much better now in the second half. Another guy that really, a lot of the guys on the floor for the Big Reds so comfortable guys you want at the free throw line, why they're so good in these situations and in tight games. They've got multiple guys that can shoot a high percentage. Doesn't matter who you foul.
Lead goes back to 10. Mackay Guy confident with them both. He's got 7 points. Aldrich to Baker. Forces it with 5 seconds. Rattles it down with 3. And a quick timeout. Gets triggered from the Zeeland West bench after the make. So 14 points now for Baker. 1.8 right now on the clock. I think a little bit more is going to get put on. Should be around 3.1 or so, I think. Let's see what it goes to. Maybe not. We might be staying at 1.8 right here on the clock.
Looks like it. Doesn't look like the officials are going to be concerned with that at this point, I guess. (51-44) Muskegon. And the Big Reds with a big second half comeback, trailed by 7 at the break. They only scored 15 points in the first half. They've run all over things in the second half, and here's a foul on the inbound. Foul goes on Jipping. That's actually a good foul to commit to make sure no time came off the clock. Yeah, I knew that as the Big Reds cutting back towards the inbounder, knew he was going to give up the pass, so rather than wait for the inbound and the clock essentially to run out, committed the foul before they could get it inbounded. Some still academic here with 1.8 to go. Mackay Guy going to get a chance to pad his stats a bit more. Now 8 in the game for Mackay. Makes them both. 9 points for Guy. 53-44. Just less than 2 seconds. Miles Steffen will heave. Unable to bank that one in. Muskegon rips off the comeback. They trail by 7 at the break, and they come all the way back and then some. They sweep the Ducks, and the Big Reds stay with 1 loss in conference play at the year. They stay at the top of the OK Green. CT, first thoughts? Break it down for us. Yeah, it wasn't looking good for the Big Reds at the half, but they stuck with it. Third quarter much better, almost immediately able to ride that out to a big fourth quarter and almost a double-digit win, and big sweep of them of Zeeland West now in a really good spot. A couple conference games to go yet, but put themselves in a really good position to at least have a share of the OK Green if they're able to handle business the rest of the way.
Zeeland West goes to 14-6 on the year. They drop to 9-3 in the conference, and the Big Reds go 15-2 on the year, 11-1 now in the OK Green. They got Grand Blanc tomorrow. They also, like I said, the non-conference have Kalamazoo Central next Saturday, so they've got a packed schedule still to close the year. Coach Guy purposefully didn't schedule much early in December because he said he knew his team, a lot of his key pieces would be playing deep into football season. That wound up being true. That was a state championship, and the Big Reds looking to power their way back to the Breslin Center, where they fell just a game short 1 year ago. They win this one, 53-44. We'll step aside, be back to break it down on the Centennial Security.
The 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas, the point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Hey everyone, Nate from Michigan Game Night. If you haven't already, make sure to check out the MGN shop. You can find it through MichiganGameNight.com or the Michigan Game Night page on Michigan Sports Radio. Click on the Buy MGN Merch button or tab on either page and find your way on over. You can check out a store that has hats, beanies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, water bottles, and everything in between, from just simple MGN logo designs to playoff feature designs, designs with famous calls and moments from MGN, and much, much more. Make sure you check out the MGN shop through MichiganGameNight.com or MichiganSportsRadio.com/MGN.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, welcome back. Centennial Securities post-game show, 53-44. Muskegon completes the comeback, trailed by 7 at the break. They win this one by 9. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, CTO. Hand it back over to you for our scoring recap from this ballgame.
All right, we'll start for Zeeland West. Luke Baker led the way, 14 points. Alderink with 9. Anderson with 7. Bullhouse 6. Yant with 5. And Sotak with 3 for the Big Reds. Terrence Davis had 12 points. Martin had 10. Oliver had 10. Mackay Guy 9. Watson 6. Johnson 5. And Langston with 1.
All right, let's take a look at some highlights from this ball game. Let's start with a couple from the second half and a couple from the Big Reds. We go Justin Watson hitting this big triple that brought Muskegon within 1 at the time early in the third quarter.
Have time to set up their pressure of their own and kind of flip the script on Zeeland West.
No pass there from Mackay Guy to James Martin. He'll survey all the way across to Watson. Triggers off the triple, and that is pure high-arcing triple down the hatch. The lead. Next, with Zeeland West able to answer back. They were going on a little bit of a run of their own in the middle of the third quarter. It was James Martin able to get it through the contact, the sophomore, this tough hand one that brought Muskegon right back into the ballgame before they eventually run away down the stretch, mostly from great work at the line. But first it was Martin with his tough finish. Duck screen, Terrence Davis. Here comes Mackay Guy, skipping to the corner. Martin off the drive and then no look. Watson steps around the defender, launches along 2, can't get the rattle. Follow, put back and 1. James Martin. SCT really was a big story in what Muskegon was able to do. The second chance points, the effort points and plays, especially from a guy like James Martin. Let's get into some awards. Let's start with our Farmers Insurance play of the game. And even though they lost, the play of the game has got to go to Miles Steffen. It's got to go to Zeeland West. The banked-in triple at the end of the first half. Oliver able to strike them both down at the line. 7 seconds to go. Here's Steffen with 5. Trapped up by Oliver. Arquez Petty joining. Good work from Steffen. Gets free, heaves at the buzzer, bakes it in! All right, so despite the loss, Miles Steffen picks up our Farmers Insurance play of the game. Centennial Securities winning game plan goes to Coach Guy, and it goes to kind of alternating what the calls were. First half, a lot of zone, slower play out of Zeeland West. In the second half, Muskegon started showing some zone. They started trapping. They started setting things up. They made Zeeland West uncomfortable, completely shut things down in the third quarter offensively for the Ducks. They weren't able to recover out of it. So it's those defensive adjustments, winning the chess match, going to some zones, going to some traps for Muskegon as they up the intensity defensively, winds up being the difference. And our Centennial Securities winning game plan.
Yeah, exactly. Once they were able to break the zone defense once or twice, they could completely give Zeeland West a taste of their own medicine, change it up so that they were the one dictating the style, the intensity of the tempo, what they were doing with their mix-up zone defense, the pressures, and Zeeland West unable to recover.
Rainbow Grill in Granville, open from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Monday through Saturday. They present our Player of the Game award. A lot of ways to go with this, because look at Terrence Davis with 12, James Martin with 4. How about a little bit of a maybe unexpected one from that, though? We talked about it at halftime. How about Mackay Guy? 9 points, some big ones coming at the line, but we said he's going to have to lead this offense in the second half. He's going to have to run things. He's going to have to find his confidence on both ends of the floor. I think Muskegon did just that. Not the leading scorer. There are a couple guys ahead of him, including Oliver and Terrence Davis, but I really like what Muskegon did to help deliver the win both ends of the floor down the stretch.
Yeah, he was great in the second half. Didn't score in the first, but all 9 coming in the third and fourth quarters there, and did a tremendous work at the free throw line, was the sure hand against the Zeeland West defense, as he has been for years now. He's the guy that's going to stay calm under pressure. That's one thing we've learned about him, and he did so here again tonight.
And once again, the free throw shooting, if you're going to have one takeaway from us at the end of the night, it's going to be the free throw shooting. And go over the numbers again, but I mean, Muskegon completely dominant. They got to the line. When they got to the line, they made them. The opposite true for Zeeland West.
Yeah, the final number, 29 made free throws for the Big Reds, just 6 for the Ducks. And
wow, in a 9-point game.
In a 9-point game. And, I mean, the Ducks did not shoot a great percentage at the free throw line for sure, but the Big Reds got there often, and they hit a pretty high percentage as well, and a huge discrepancy right there.
Yeah, absolutely huge discrepancy for sure. 53-44. Zeeland West had the lead at the break, but Muskegon doing what Muskegon kind of does. They come back down the stretch in the second half, and Coach Guy's team wins. They stay tied atop the conference standings in this one. That'll do it here tonight from Zeeland West. Make sure you tune in at MI Game Night across social media to find out what exactly we're doing next week. A couple different options. Hockey playoffs are starting, the final week of conference season, and basketball as well. We're going to be off the air on Friday. I can tell you that much. We will be off the air. We'll not have a broadcast next Friday, but find out what exactly we're doing in the middle of the week, all at MI Game Night. We should have that sorted out by Monday. We'll put out our weekly schedule. So, Muskegon, they come from behind. They take this one down by 9 here tonight. For Chandler Timmer, for everyone at Michigan Sports Radio and MichiganGameNight.com, I am Nate Dreyer signing off. We'll see you next time.